Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Angie, and today we're doing my everyday makeup look. This is what I do on a more day-to-day basis, nothing too fancy, nothing like extreme, just enough where I feel like I have coverage on my face, I'm happy with how I look, and all of that good stuff. I do this look at least 2 to 3 times a week. I just feel like I want to put something on my face where I'm comfortable and people aren't staring at my acne. I know for a lot of us that suffer with acne, we hate when people look at us and judge us for our acne. Disclaimer, you are about to get really close to my face, so this way you can see everything and hopefully that works out. I honestly was not able to see what I was doing because I don't have a flip out screen on this camera. I'm still trying to learn how to use this camera and use it for tutorials without a monitor and everything for the time being. So please bear with me. Let's just get into the tutorial and get this look. I'm sorry if this is like uncomfortably close, but it was asked that I would zoom in a little bit more when I do my tutorials and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing. And because this is an everyday look, it's not going to be necessarily full coverage, but it'll be like something that I'm more comfortable with going out with than if I didn't want to go out barefaced. So I'm going to start out with this L'Oreal Magic Skin Beautifier BB Cream, the anti-redness one. I mentioned this one in my skincare video that I did not too long ago. And I'm just going to take like a round kabuki brush. This is from Amazon. If I can find it, I will link it down below for you guys. And I'm just going to take a dollop on here, not too much. I'm getting into like not using too much product and just building things up rather than just slapping it on and seeing how it goes. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to buff it into my skin. You want to make sure your skin is like very moisturized before you like do any kind of buffing. And I know it's like advised against with acne, but with this product in particular, you have to kind of buff it in so this way it doesn't stay green, it actually changes color on your skin. So I'm just gonna buff this in all over my face. But that little bit that I put on at first is good enough for like half my face, and then I gotta do it again to do the other half. At the moment, this is what it looks like, and I mean, it doesn't provide a ton of coverage, but it's enough coverage for me to be happy with, and it also tones down my redness quite a bit. I do like it, and I do use it on a more everyday or running basis. I don't wear makeup every day anymore, I just wear it when I feel like I want to. So yeah. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And I just took out a bit of my bye-bye pores. Oh my god! Okay, so I'm going to do this again. Just a little dollop. And now I'm regretting putting on my beanie. Let me move my hair out of the way. And I'm going to start on my forehead. I'm actually going to overlap a little bit on my forehead because I do have a little more redness on my forehead now. But my skin has been lightening up a lot lately, and I'm enjoying that. I just want to make sure everything is very well blended into my skin, and that's why I keep going back over on this side. But yeah. Okay, taking a little bit more. I'm like really shaky right now. I should eat. And then I'm going to do this cheek. And now that our face and our neck are a different color, I'm going to take just a tad bit more onto the brush to work it into my neck, so this way we're all one color, or it looks a little more seamless than if I were to leave it. And because I have redness on my neck too. So for the most part, I'm happy with how this looks. I'm just gonna buff out the edges here so there's no like real line of demarcation. For me personally, I don't use concealer under my eyes every day. I don't really have dark circles, I just have discoloration around my eyes. So what I'm gonna do is take this contour kit that I got from Ross. I know it's like really sad looking and one of the pans fell out. I'm going to take the yellow shade and place it under my eyes just to brighten it up a little bit. And I do use this every day, and that's why that's the only color being used in there. So I'm just going to pat it under my eyes just to quote unquote highlight a little bit. And I'm using the same brush that I used for my foundation. But, yeah. And then if you want, you can take it in the middle of your forehead. I haven't tried the NYX one yet. Like, I bought it, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know how that's going to work on my skin. And a little bit on my chin. And then I'll even take this, like, over here to brighten that up, so when I go to bronze, it's not too much. And a little bit over here. Now I'm going to take my Bye Bye Pores powder. This is the pressed version, and then just press this everywhere else around my face. Just to set that BB cream that we used. I would use a fluffier brush for this, but I left my powder brush at my vanity and I don't feel like getting up again. And if you have any like good powder brush recommendations, I'm totally looking into them. So yeah, please leave them down below for me. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to bronze my face, and I'm using the NYX Matte Bronzer in Deep Tan because I like this one. I don't know, I feel like other bronzers are not what I'm looking for yet. So maybe I'll go lighter one day, but this is pretty dark, sorry. But yeah, I'm going to go in with this with my retractable brush that I always use for bronzing. I'm going to tap off the excess so it's like barely anything on there, and then bronze my face. Hit my jawline real quick. Take a little down my neck. Just to even out a little bit. You know what, just put this everywhere. Everywhere. And then last little bit, do my other temple. It's gonna be hard because I can't see what I'm doing, but we'll see how this goes. And then go back in with the highlighting powder just to, you know, take it down a notch on my forehead. Usually I can see what I'm doing, so I don't have to do this again, but, you know, for the sake of this video. Next is blush, just to give my face a little more color. And this is the Studio Makeup Soft Blend Blush in Wildflower. I got this in BoxyCharm. It's a very nice, natural, like, everyday color. And I'm going to be using my Vasanti Blush Brush number 7, dipping it in here, just getting barely any product, tapping off the excess, and then hitting the apples of my cheeks. There we go. And again, just pushing the brush in here, a little bit, tapping it off. And then I'm going to pull it up a little bit on towards my temples, so this way it kind of lifts the face apparently. So, oh, and I forgot to do my nose. I'm going to take my retractable brush, take it up like 3/4 of the way so it's a little more dense, and just hit my nose real quick. Give it some shape. All that good stuff. And then I'm going to highlight real quick, and this is a Pacifica eyeshadow in Ethereal. I got this in Ipsy, and I'm just going to take my finger, swirl it around in here, and I'm just going to slightly dab it onto my cheekbones, and a little bit towards the apple, and just kind of work it into my skin a little bit. I don't want it to be like popping, I just want it to like give me a little bit of a glow. So a little bit more. There we go. And then down the bridge of my nose. Or a little bit down the bridge here, and then the tip of my nose. And lastly, the Cupid's bow. There we go. Next, what I'm going to do is set my face, and I know this seems like really soon to do it, but at the same time, like, I like my face to be set before I do everything. And even though when I go in to do my brows, it's still a little wet, it helps the brow powder stick, or at least to me it feels like it does. So I'm going to be using the Poremedic Pore Minish Mist from Dr. Jart, and I don't feel like this does much for my oil control, but I do feel like it sets my makeup a lot better than like the L'Oreal Infallible or anything like that. So I'm going to fan this a little bit, sneak peek into the next video. Now, while this is still actually drying the rest of my face, I'm going to go ahead and start my brows. And I'm using the Bodyography Pro Brow Brush that we got in BoxyCharm last year. Can't remember which box, but I do like it. And I'm just going to brush my brow hairs where I want them. And then I'm going to go into the matching Brow Essentials trio with the 3 brow powders, and I'm going to dip into the darkest one since I have very dark hair. Just literally just press my brush into there, tap off the excess, and then shape my brows. I like to start from the arch, or like the back end half of my brow, does that make sense? And lay down the foundation there, since that is where I have the most sparseness. Is that a word? Sparseness? Where I'm more sparse. I'm gonna go a little heavier right here where it's really, really sparse for me. And then just do the shape as I normally would. Or following the natural shape of my brow, I should say. And then I'm gonna slowly work my way to the front of my brow and just feather in the remaining product in, and then brush it out, or what is that called? Blend it out. Okay, I'm going to dip my brush one more time into the deepest shade there, tap it off, and then do the top real quick. I'm trying to go for like a more natural look for my brows. I don't want them to look like I took a lot of time on them. Even though I take more time on my brows than almost anything else. But for the most part, I'm happy with how this brow is looking. So I'm just going to leave it at that, or at least that part, and then just kind of line up the top a little bit, because I like how that looks. And then just feather in whatever's left on the brush in the front of my brow. So, I don't know. I like how that looks too. Alright, next I'm going to go in with this Cella Eyebrow Defining Gel. This one does not have the hold that Anastasia's does, and sometimes I like that. With the Anastasia one, it like gets crunchy really quick. With this one, it's like a very, very light hold hairspray for your brows, whereas the Anastasia one is like the strong hold. Like if you know the Gotta Be hair products, the one in the yellow can, that is what Anastasia's brow gel is compared to this, which is more like a soft hold one. I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, there we go. Just comb it through, give my hairs a little definition, and this is the comparison of a brow done and not done. So yeah. Okay, on to the next brow. Now that my brows are done, I'm just gonna go ahead and do some really quick eye makeup, like literally 2 shadows, that's it. And I'm going to start with putting the Pacifica eyeshadow on my lids. I'm just taking this like flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to pack this onto my lid real quick, just so there's a little shine on there. Then I'm just going to take this gray eyeshadow. This is from JCat Beauty, and this is Mud Wrestle number 120, and it's like a taupey gray color. I'm just going to take a fluffy blending brush. It's the Smashbox brush that comes in the exposure palettes. I'm going to take some on the tip of my brush and just work this into the crease, just to give my eyes some definition. And I'm just going to blend until I'm happy with how it looks. So I just literally just put it into my crease, or where the bone is, under there, and just go back and forth. And then I do it with it flat, kind of, and then I will turn it sideways so I can blend it upwards a little bit. That looks good enough for me. I'm going to take a little bit more and blend it under my eye a little bit. Just on the outer corner. I don't know, I like how that looks. And then do the other side. Okay, and once I'm happy with how it looks, my eyes are getting foggy, I will tightline. I always tightline my eyes, no matter if I'm wearing eyeshadow or not. I love the way it looks, I love the way it feels, blah blah blah, all of that good stuff. Like, tightlining is like an absolute must for me. So I'm using the NYX gel pencil liner, or the Très Jolie, I guess you pronounce that, I'm not too sure. This is the one in Pitch Black. And I'm going to tightline my eyes, which is just running it on your upper waterline. And then it also, like, sometimes gets in between your lashes on your lash line and everything like that. So this way it's all completely, like, dark. It makes your lashes look thicker or more dense and everything. And it gives more definition to your eye. That's why I like it. And on top of that, if you were to do, like, a full-blown smoky eye, like a black smoky eye, and you don't tightline, you can see that little bit of, like, your waterline and how it's just, like, the only thing showing. And I hate that so much. Like, I don't understand why some people don't tightline. Especially if you do, like, wing liner and everything, it just makes it look that much better. Sorry, my nose itches. And it tickles, and it's really weird, but it just looks really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to take the same liner, and I'm going to run it on my waterline. Not on my lash line, just on the waterline to the outside of my iris. I don't know, it makes my eyes look a little bigger. Like, I don't want it to be too obvious that I have black in the waterline, but I feel like that this works. And I have been doing this for, like, the last, like, month and a half or so, and I like it. There we go. And then I'm going to take my finger and blend it a little bit. This one's not as strong, so I'm going to touch that up. There we go. All good. Okay. And lastly, what I'm going to do is put on mascara, and I've been using the Benefit Roller Lash for, like, the last week and a half or so. This is good shit. Like, this is actually a really good mascara. I wouldn't mind paying the money for it. But I still have, like, a million other mascaras to go through. But right now, I'm enjoying this. I might actually buy the full size. And I was told you, like, hook it and roll it. Something like that. And just do your lashes. I like how this makes my lashes look, really. Like, I like this better than the Better Than Sex. Because I smile a lot no matter what I do, I get transfer on the outer side of my eyes. But I like how this makes my lashes look. There we go. And the other side. I'm really bad at putting on mascara, if you guys couldn't tell. Like, you see that? But I have learned to live with it. I don't care. And if one day it doesn't happen, I'm, like, really happy. Oh, it's making my eyes water, though. Okay, and then I'm going to do another coat real quick, or, like, another run through with the mascara. And then I'm going to do a light coat on the bottom just to define my lashes. I'm not going to try to build them up or anything, so I got a smudge under my eye. Only because I have, like, 5, so. Oh, that's so scary! I hate when I blink when I'm doing my mascara. There we go. Defined. Not too defined, but defined. So lastly, we have lips, and right now I have the Tokyo Milk Dark Lip Elixir on my lips. This one is in the salted caramel flavor or scent, however you want to put it. Tastes really good, smells really good, feels really good, all of that good stuff. Because that's on my lips, and because I don't really like wearing a lip color every day, I just go in with a lip liner to define my lips, and this is the Beauty For Real Nude Lip Liner. And I'm just going to just define my lips and then blend it into the lip balm. So I'm going to define right here into my Cupid's bow. Like that. I don't like to do too heavy of a lip liner, so this way it looks really natural. And then I'll go ahead and define the rest of my upper lip. And then fill it in a little bit. I'm regretting not sharpening this liner before I started filming. And then I'm just going to do my bottom lip. I don't feel like I need to overline or anything like that. I'm happy with my natural lip lines. So yeah, that's everything for this look, guys. This is literally what I will wear on a day-to-day basis if I do feel like doing my makeup or anything, or if I know I'm going to be out for longer than like an hour or two. I like to look like I actually tried sometimes. I like how it's simple and I look somewhat put together. Yes, there's not a lot of coverage or anything like that, but at the same time, like, it makes me comfortable in my own skin when I am, like, just running errands and people aren't staring at me. I will eventually have an updated full coverage foundation routine, but at the moment I'm trying new foundations and everything, and at the same time I have gotten so pale that a lot of my foundations are really dark for me, so I'm trying to work with that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Follow me on my social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all at jehbuu, the same way it's spelled here. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions, concerns, anything like that down below for me in the comment section. I almost said description box. And yeah, thank you again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!